Hello Internet, my name is Kelly and welcome to my craft corner. So today I'm going to show you how to make one of my absolute favorite crafts, which is going to be the scrunchie. I get asked a lot how to make these and it's super easy and affordable, so I figured I would put it in a video for you. So you're going to want to start out with some basic materials. You're going to need a needle and thread. Next you're going to need some elastic. I would not recommend getting anything thicker than 1/2 inch because it's going to be harder to use when you try to put the scrunchie in your hair. And lastly, you're going to need some fabric. Now you don't have to go out and buy an entire yard just to do this project. What I used were different quarter bundles, so it's just a quarter of fabric that you can get for between $1 to $2 depending on where you go. But if you don't want to do this, you can even use fabric from an old t-shirt or a bandana. So now you're going to take your handy dandy scissors and cut yourself a piece of fabric. You're going to want a piece of fabric that's approximately 4 inches thick and between 12 and 16 inches long, depending on how bunched up you want the scrunchie to look. So now you're going to want to take your strip of fabric and fold it in half the long way. If you're working with something with a pattern, you're going to want to make sure your pattern is on the inside, but since I'm working with just a solid color, it doesn't matter which side I have facing out. Next, you're going to need to sew along the edge of your fabric, leaving a little bit of space between your stitching and the edge. You do not need a sewing machine to do this, and as you will see by my sewing, you don't have to be very good. Once you've sewed it all the way up, you're going to want to tie it off, and a little tip I learned was you insert your needle into your last stitch, create a little bit of a loop, and then put your needle back through that loop and pull, and it creates a nice tight knot. I usually do this 2 or 3 times to make sure it's secure. The next step is to turn your fabric inside out. Once you're done turning it inside out, you'll see that you have a nice clean seam and you're ready to move on to the next step. Now you're going to take your piece of elastic. I usually use anywhere between 7 and 9 inches of elastic, it just depends on your preference, and you're going to thread this through your fabric. Once that's done, you can either sew the 2 ends of your elastic together, or you can simply tie it in a knot. It will hold just as well. So the last step is also probably the trickiest. You're going to take one end of your fabric and fold it over to create a nice edge and tuck the other end of your scrunchie up underneath. From here, you're going to sew both of them together. Now this part you are going to see on the outside, so you'll want to try to make your stitching as clean as possible. There are multiple ways to do this, but you really just have to find what works for you. Once you're done sewing up the outside, that's all you have to do. Give your scrunchie a tug just to make sure nothing comes undone, and then you're ready to go. Please give this video a like and comment below with any other crafty how-to videos you would like to see. Thanks for watching!